Hey everybody. Hi. So I am answering a question that has come up on our website and here on the YouTube channel, most recently today. And the question is, how come there aren't more men's only groups? Men's only groups for healing childhood trauma. And I had, so what I did is I responded to this person, and I just let them know that in all the years I have been an advocate, which has been, I don't know, almost 5 years now. I mean, previously I was working online, but I wasn't, actively involved with advocacy for healing childhood trauma. I noticed, I had this great idea that we would have a women's group, a men's group, and a co-ed group. Boom, just like that. Then, I just want to give you like the chain of events that happened. So my bright idea was women's group, men's group, co-ed group. Boom. Then, right when me and my colleague were creating these groups, the women's group was going really, really well. There weren't enough people that wanted to be involved in a co-ed group because many of the things that people were healing from, they were perpetrated against by men. And then the men that were wanting to be involved in the co-ed group or the men's only group, there were only like 2. And so it wouldn't really be a group because there were 2 men. And one of them had been perpetrated against by a man, and the other had been abused by a woman. But all of a sudden, when we're going along our healing journey and we're doing all of the things, then Pulse Orlando happened, and the LGBTQ plus community needed a place that was safe where they could come and heal. And we, on the spot, that day that it happened, we created our LGBTQ plus group. And we got a lot of people that were all of a sudden like, thank you for acknowledging that we exist. And I continued to reach out to people to find out if they had male groups, men's groups that I could refer my people to. Hi Malta, great to see you. Hello. So I reached out to people that were successful in the advocacy space, particularly the complex trauma space, and I asked them how I could get more men involved and what did I need to do? What email did I need to send? What video did I need to make? And so I did those things. I recorded videos on the channel that were for men only, and I sent out emails, and I hosted Twitter chats, and I did my very best to advocate for the men in the community that needed support, that wanted support, that deserved support. And I even reached out to thought leaders. Like I reached out to Pete Walker, who wrote the book Complex PTSD From Surviving to Thriving. I reached out to Peter Levine's office, left messages there, and I had an assistant give me answers because he was unavailable. Totally understandable, he's busy. I reached out to Dan Allender, got a response from, he wrote the book, it's not The Courage to Heal. Let me tell you. Let me see. Let me see the name of the book. His book is The Wounded Heart, Healing the Wounded Heart. So, sorry, my room's a mess. So he wrote The Wounded Heart, and then 25 years later, he wrote Healing the Wounded Heart. And he mentions in his books how it will take an entire year for a handful of men to agree to come to a healing weekend that he hosts to talk about childhood abuse. And there are very few men. I even spoke with the Good Men Project. Are you familiar with the Good Men Project? So anyway, I just wanted you all to know that I'm aware. The way that the question was worded on YouTube today, I'm trying to remember the exact words and I just can't right now, but it was kind of like, why does your community represent women and homosexuals, but not men? And the truth is I tried. So just thought I would record a separate video for the person that asked that, and for the email that we received recently, and for, I want to say it was a DM that was sent to me, which I already responded to. So there was an email on our website recently, and there was a comment here on my YouTube channel tonight. So I tried to start a men's group, and there were two men. And when I reached out and I was asking like why that is, that so few men are wanting to get together just as men, and I even reached out, and I remember speaking with Richard Grannon very briefly, but he runs a men's only group, but it's about like working out and being really healthy and having like healthy choices. So it has something to do with this. In order for men to come together and talk about adverse childhood experiences and childhood trauma, it means that they're in a vulnerable place to admit that they were victimized. And what I was told over and over and over and over again is that they feel stigmatized because society has been very clear in communicating. Ooh, Tabby Boss says, I Survive has a men's forum. Woo woo, there you go. Oh my gosh. Like, Tabby Boss, can you please like email me a link, info@cptsdfoundation.org, so that I can recommend that? Because I want to be that place where you can come and ask like, hey, where do I belong? Will I ever belong? Where do I belong? Do I belong? Will I ever belong? Like, I want to be that place. And I feel like I do a good job of that. But at the same time, I've always wanted to do more for men. I mean, I have a handful, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 men. And I've been doing this for 5 years. So just so you know, I've reached out to like every professional that I have a relationship with, and I've also done my best, and I've also hosted Twitter chats that were just for men, recorded videos that were just for men, written blog posts that were just for men, and started groups that were just for men, which were not populated by men because they didn't want to be there. Because they would need to like admit that they were abused or victimized or something in an intimate group setting, and it was like a very vulnerable thing. And I was told flat out that, you know, it just wasn't time. Like, I need some time, Athena. I just need some time. So I just want you to know that I'm aware of it and that I care deeply for the male survivor community, and I want to do all I can, and I feel like I'm doing all I can. But alas, what defines complex trauma? Lethal Cerebral wants to know, what defines complex trauma? Thank you, good question. So complex trauma, by definition, if you were to type in the words complex trauma, highlight it, right-click it, and the first thing it will take you to is Wikipedia. And I'm paraphrasing here, but basically complex trauma is interpersonal in nature, so it's person-to-person trauma, where there is an uneven power dynamic. Someone's up here, you're down here, and you are traumatized or abused over a long period of time with either a perceived or real lack of means of escaping. You're trapped, you can't get out, there's an uneven power dynamic, and it's a person and you're a person, and it goes on for a really long time. That's complex trauma. And that results in CPTSD symptoms, hopelessness, helplessness, suicidality. It affects every one of your relationships. It does go on for years, Tabby Ba. You're right. For years and years and years and years and years. What about multiple times or with violence? Yeah. Yeah. Complex PTSD could be multiple times and with violence, for sure. If it's interpersonal in nature and it happened more than once, like over a long period of time, or over and over and over, that sounds violent. And that definitely, oh my gosh, you're so welcome. Oh my gosh, that's why I'm here. That's like why I was born. Seriously, you're very welcome. But yeah, so trauma that happens over and over between two people with an uneven power dynamic, and you're not able to get away, either perceived or real. You can't get away. And so I just want you guys to know that I have tried doing men's groups, and I'm not a man. So you know what that means? I'm not allowed in the group, which means I need to find somebody to run the group as a volunteer because I can't afford to pay them. So, and I have to, that person has to be with me in our community for 6 months or more, and they're personally vetted by me, and I know I can trust them over a long period of time with other community members. It takes a lot. Like if I started right now looking for that, you're so welcome. I do live Q&A every single Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Those are US times. If you're in Australia, that is Tuesday sometime. I don't even know what time that is on Tuesday. That's like 4 in the morning or something on Tuesday. And if you're in the UK, it's Tuesday morning at like 2 in the morning. So, yeah, you're very welcome. But I mean, you guys, like, even if I started right now today, setting up a men's group, my person would need to be with me for 6 months, personally vetted, and I would need to observe them being the type of human that I feel safe with over an extended period of time. isurvive.org. Yes. Oh, are you the person? Are you isurvive.org? Are you the person that runs that website? Or you're just giving me the link? You're just giving me the link. That's okay. I asked you to email me. I get it now. I'm sorry. It's part of my own CPTSD stuff, right? Why do I not want a Facebook group? Did you not hear what I just said? I have a Facebook group. I have multiple Facebook groups. Every single time that I've started, oh, you're a member, Tabby Ba, that's awesome. Every single time I've started other groups, like one for men, like co-ed, women, etc., etc., the ones that have taken off and actually been active have been the women's group and the co-ed group. Even the LGBTQ plus community, it was very active right around Orlando Pulse and very active around like elections, and then not so much in between that, just rarely. So it's not that I don't want a Facebook group, it's that I've started Facebook groups and there's nobody there. It's a ghost town. So here I have these groups over here that, oh no, you're totally fine. I was just like, forgive me for snapping at you, young Buddha, like for real. Like I have been like trolled to death over the last, like, I can't even explain to you. Like people take my words, twist them, and like ask me a bajillion questions over and over, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, really? But obviously you're not a troll. Obviously you just want to help people, young Buddha. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you. Like, I honestly think I'm hangry. I need to eat something, and it's totally not your fault. It's on me. I'm sorry for being rude. But yeah, so I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. But like I have these advocacy groups where there's women, and there's hundreds of them, and they're all wanting to like learn from one another and heal. And then there's a men and women group, and they're all healing together, and they're just amazing, amazing. And then I have my LGBTQ plus community, and they're wonderful, just not as active. And then the men's group that I tried to start was like, wah, wah. Know what I'm saying? So I really just wanted to record this brief video to let you know I tried, and I haven't given up. Like, it's always a topic. What do you think of clearing the subconscious mind of trauma through meditation? I think that that is amazing and effective. Clearing the subconscious mind of trauma through meditation is very, very helpful. However, complex trauma and the nature of complex trauma means that meditation, which is in and of itself calm and peace and quiet, anything that is calming or peaceful or quiet to a complex trauma survivor is highly activating and triggering for many of them. And the reason for that is because on the abuse cycle, how effective is CBT? Remind me, I'm at the abuse cycle. The abuse cycle. So CBT is excellent for a lot of different types of maladies and even some complex trauma, but we are not able to heal complex trauma with CBT alone, because CBT deals with the prefrontal cortex and trauma is stored in the body. So back to the abuse cycle and why meditation is great for trauma, but not necessarily complex trauma. So if you look at the abuse cycle or the power wheel, if you Google abuse cycle or Google power and control wheel, you will see that silence or quiet or silence precedes abuse. Oh yeah, neuroplasticity is amazing. You can make new neural pathways. Neuroplasticity gives us hope. Yes. EMDR, which is a trauma-informed modality, which involves bilateral movement, eye movement, desensitization and reprocessing, and somatic experiencing, and trauma-sensitive yoga, and discovering movement, and anything that involves movement in the body, and like journaling future self, that's really helpful as well. But movement is what heals complex trauma, because complex trauma is stored in the body. And complex trauma is stored in the brainstem, right? Yes, DBT skills, for sure. Yes, yes. It takes a while, though, to be okay with calm and peace and silence when we're looking at the power and control wheel, if you're looking at, like, let's say 12 o'clock noon, if it's a clock, is where the abuse happens. From 9 o'clock all the way to 12 o'clock is silence. And so for a complex trauma survivor who has survived multiple abuses over time, right before all of those abuses happened, guess what there was? Calm, peace, and quiet. So we can't heal complex trauma through CBT alone, even if it's trauma-informed CBT, and we can't heal complex trauma with DBT alone, and we can't heal complex trauma with meditation alone. It meaning complex trauma is complex in its very nature, and therefore it requires a complex approach, meaning that we engage the prefrontal cortex through CBT, we engage the brainstem through meditation and trauma-informed affirmations and future self journaling, and we engage the body through somatic experiencing, and we engage both hemispheres of the brain through eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR, which is bilateral stimulation. So since complex trauma is complex, it requires a complex approach, And the only way to heal complex trauma is through a multitude of modalities, which are all trauma-informed, always keeping in mind that this that's happening here is always about that. What happened a long time ago. What happened before, over and over and over and over and over again, over a long period of time where you couldn't get away, that is the reason for what's going on now. So if we go to a therapist, particularly a CBT therapist, and we say, I'm dealing with some issues in my marital relationship. The relationship with my children is strained right now. I'm struggling with my relationship with my boss at work. My coworkers and I are sort of at odds with one another. My friend, I don't have very close friendships anymore. I've sort of had, trouble connecting with my friends. My relationship with money is really skewed, and I'm having trouble. I feel like I'm going to lose my job. I don't really know how to manage my money properly, and my relationship with my body, I'm feeling like I have body image issues. My relationship with myself and with food, and I'm not sleeping well, just all these different things, right? And we go to a CBT therapist and we talk it all out, talk it out, get it out so that it's not kept in, better out than in, right? However, if that CBT therapist is not trauma informed, then they could lead you through some sort of exercise about, letting go of what, is back there, pressing on towards the future, forgive and forget. Forgiveness releases you from the prison of your past. You've been in prison to your past for all these years, but you're the one that holds the key to the jail cell. We're going to need to move on, all that. And what they're not keeping in mind is that the only person that gets to tell you when to forgive and who to forgive and if you're going to forgive is you. And it has to be in your own time as you sit with and process your trauma. Okay? You're the one that gets to decide. So that's just a really quick 20-minute video. I know that I always lose people right around 20 minutes. It's like the max. So Tabby Boss says regular CBT is supposed to be short term, so not appropriate for CPTSD. Correct. I do trauma-informed CBT with my trauma therapist. I also do somatic experiencing. I also do EMDR, and we're also just working on some other cognitive distortions that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and go eat something because I do think I'm hangry, and I accidentally snapped at a really nice Buddha guy, and I just feel bad. So I hope this video was helpful. And I look forward to seeing you guys 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern every single Monday. If this video is helpful for you or you think it might be helpful for somebody else, it would mean a lot to me. It's never better to bury it. Never, ever, ever better to bury it. If you bury it, it will raise its ugly head, smack you, and punch you in the face right when you're about ready to get into a really good relationship or take a job offer. It's never good to bury it. Numbing, stuffing, and avoiding prolongs your pain. If you numb, stuff, and avoid, you will feel that pain worse later on down the road. If you're ever going to heal, you got to feel all your feels, even the bad feels. So I know all of my little sing-songy little sayings are not for everybody, but they work. So it's never better to bury it. Never. Not a good thing. It will make you sick. So yay. Yeah, Tabby Ba, go to cptsdfoundation.org and just click on groups, and my assistant Lisa will email you, okay? I know, right? I do need to go get something to eat. I'm sorry, like, seriously. I won't show up hangry ever again. My husband came in here to, like, tell me that we... Aw, thanks, Malta. You're amazing. Malta McMurchie. Woot woot. Yeah, my husband came in here to tell me, like, let's have some dinner. And I was like, I need to record one more video.